Just make sure that steak is good and sharp, or we're all dead.
Welcome back to my dark corner of this sick world.
That's a werewolf.
Young Hannah, Queen of the Vampires, also known as Crypt of the Living Dead, starts with an archaeologist having a bad day. Startled by a caveman, strangled by a monk, and shortly after, Edward Woodward arrives. Not really, and I don't think this is ripping off The Wicker Man because they were released the same year, but there is a real similarity.
Those look kind of like totem poles.
Yeah, kinda.
This is the dead archaeologist's son, Chris, who's here to find out how his dad ended up crushed by a tomb.
What was he doing under there?
And not just any tomb.
Do you mean that she was supposed to have been a vampire?
Once this place was called Vampire Island, and Hannah was their queen. But Chris isn't having any of that.
Well, I'm going to move that tomb. And I'm going to bury my father.
With the help of his father's friend Peter,
I'm kind of a jack of all trades.
and Peter's hot sister Mary.
I've learned not to scoff at unnatural things that seem unanswerable.
Unfortunately, the weight of the tomb means that lid and base have to be lifted separately. In other words, gotta open it.
I'm breaking the seal.
This is where things usually start to go wrong. Chris, of course, is sceptical,
You don't believe this stupid superstition!
mocking the locals, although they do make it easy.
Put away them college books and get yourself some dog bane.
I learned everything I know from Dogbane.
Before the moon comes up, make sure that dog bane is around Hannah's tomb. It is the only thing that will keep her in there.
Chris thinks differently. That went south fast.
You men, listen to me! Hannah's out! How do you know?
Someone moved the Dogbane, I don't know who.
Take these flowers and wrap them around you. You'll be all right. Go on.
Doesn't matter where I got them, I found them. Yeah, that's it, found them.
We may never know what went on down there.
And the shocks keep coming as Mary learns the horrifying truth about her brother.
In you who rise from the dead dawns our hope of resurrection.
Oh, Peter.
Shocking stuff. Except I didn't mention the very first scene of the film.
Oh, Hannah, that we shall never sleep in death.
So we always knew that Peter was Hannah's disciple.
You mean you killed Chris's father?
We actually see him do it. I don't know what they were thinking. They hide his face through the body of the film, having shown it at the start. Some people interpret Peter's involvement to mean that he killed Chris's father in this fashion specifically to bring Chris here and force the opening of the tomb.
He would have tried to prevent my setting her free.
I didn't interpret it like that. There are better ways to open a tomb. If that was the intention, it's ludicrous. And that brings up a point.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we ran out of makeup after doing Hannah. But rubbish vampire to one side, listen to what he says.
Kill me.
Regular viewers will know I have a soft spot for these Euro horrors, and this one was released the same year and shares star Mark Damon with the endearingly silly The Devil's Wedding Night.
Well, I seem to have arrived in time for the fun.
But this isn't silly, it's serious, which is great, but if you've got a serious film, you have to answer the serious questions. When the tomb is opened, Chris thinks this is a 700-year-old corpse, which is an issue in itself. The locals think it's a vampire. Why not stake her? If it's a corpse, nothing lost. If it's a vampire, something gained. Similarly,
With a little bit of muscle, we can do this job, and we can do it quickly.
boy is that against all evidence. Day one, they raise the lid. They never do another stroke of work to get the corpse out, which, I'm inclined to say, was a one-day job.
Don't She's in there.
It's almost as if the film needed an excuse to open the tomb and keep it open so Hannah could come and go as she pleased. And yet no one pops in during the day to stake her. Now, if this was the Devil's Wedding Night, I wouldn't care about something like that. Probably wouldn't even notice it's a film in which someone has sex with a giant bat. But here, the serious tone means you notice stuff like how easy it is to kill a vampire. Admittedly, this doesn't quite finish her. I like the extra crispy Hannah. In fact, I think Hannah is a very well-realised vampire full stop. But again, could have burned her any time. She's just been lying there. Also, super slow, but quite a cool twist at the end. Thanks for watching. If you like vampire stories, then check out my book, The Immortal Dracula. There's a link in the description below. What films are fun when they ought to be serious, or serious when they ought to be fun? Let us know in the comments below.
Okay, school's out.